Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. Glad to be with us today. Hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful day. So last week we did a show on hacks for helping you lose weight. Everyday hacks that you can do to lose weight. Very, very big response to that, of course, because a lot of people don't want to diet. They just want to make it part of a lifestyle, and that's what that was all about. So today we're going to add kind of secret health tips, health hacks, not just on weight loss, but on life in general. Because I realize this, that sometimes it's a little overwhelming. People listen to my shows and go, oh, that's a lot. I don't know what I can do if I can do it all. So we're going to break this down, nice little bites of things that you can do every day. You don't have to do them all. I wish you would. But little steps that you can take to try to get your body better. So that's going to talk about today. So secret health tips or health hacks. If you're listening live, please type in right now, #live. If you're listening to this on a recording, please type in #replay. And the reason is the bots of the world can then find out who's listening and who's not you specifically, but if someone's listening live or on a replay. It's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, September 19th right now. So if it's not that time for you, please type in #replay. But right now it's live. So any questions you have, type in your question, whatever format you're on. Joe, my producer behind the camera, will then ask me the questions at the 24-minute break. I will answer the questions. I'll talk another 24 minutes, and then I'll answer more of your questions. Your questions are important. So any questions you have, please type them in. I don't know who you are, so I'm not going to, don't be shy or anything. And I'll just ask Joe asked the question, I'll give an answer. He won't mention a name or anything. So please type it in so that we can go ahead and do that. We're also going to start doing a master class because I know this show goes all over the world, and people have been begging me, please do a master class. I'm in Ireland, I'm in Guam, I'm in Germany, whatever. So we're going to do a master class starting in October. So if you're interested, just type in #masterclass. And one of us will reach out to you and get you more information on that. It's going to be in October. We're still trying to pick the date. So anyway, the masterclass is going to be 8 weeks. It's going to be a very small group, intense one-on-one training. Well, not one-on-one, but small group on training for your specific health needs and concerns. So the masterclass coming up if you're interested in that, just letting you know. So, ready, Joe? All right. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am very happy you're here. Last week we did a show, and we talked about hacks to help you lose weight. Little things you can incorporate into your life every day, and people loved it. The response was overwhelming. So what we're doing today is more hacks, but on general health. So these are secret health tips that you need to institute in your life. Now, I'd love for you to institute all of them. I understand you're probably not going to because I'm a realist. But how about some of them? Pick and choose what you want so that you can better incorporate these things into your life. And this is what it's all about. This health thing is a journey. There is no end to it. It's like education. You're always learning. You're always going to be trying and add new things to your life to make you healthier. And the science changes. The nice part is that science is flexible. And so we discover new things. We realize new herbs, new spices, new foods, new trends that work. And that's what I do is I'm on the cutting edge of all this information so I can share it with you so you don't have to do it. You just have to listen to the shows and say, oh, I can do that. I can do that. So that's what it's all about. Our website, drjoe.com. This show and hundreds, thousands of hours of other shows are archived there. You can just type in what you're looking for in the search bar, and whatever topic it is, we've probably done a show on it. Or you can go to our shows, our radio shows, and we store them on SoundCloud. And then it's in chronological order. So if you think to yourself, well, gosh, you did a really good show 3 weeks ago. What was that about? Just go to SoundCloud, go back. The title should give it to you there, and it's all there. Any questions you have, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. Little bot pops up. I'm happy to answer your health questions for you. All right, let's jump right into this because there's so much to cover, and there's no way I'm going to get even close to covering everything I want to today, which is usual. So what I want you to do is eat more. We always talk about fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, and why that should be your main diet. But one of the reasons you want to do it, it boosts something called BDNF. BDNF is brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And what this does, it reduces your risk of brain malfunctions and depression. And the higher intake of dietary flavonoids. Now, these are not vitamins and minerals. They're other nutrients that are found in plants that work well for the body. And some of them are called flavonoids. And the flavonoids appear to have a protective ability associated with the symptoms of depression. Now, there's something called the Harvard Nurses Study. Now, this has been going on for a long time, and it's an ongoing study. So it's not like we study somebody for 2 weeks and they're done. They've been studying nurses through their life cycle From when they started to join when they joined the study, they follow their life, their exercise habits, their dietary habits, all the way to their death. And really cool stuff has come out of this. And they followed tens of thousands of women for years, and they found that those who were eating the most fruits and vegetables appear to have reduced their risk of coming down with depression. Now, the flavonoids are a key, but also eating healthy is just good for you as well. And they talked about turmeric as being one of the spices that these people use. Now, turmeric, just a teaspoon a day, can boost the brain-derived neurotropic factor levels to more than 50% within a month. So on our website, drjoe.com, there's a turmeric supplement. I take it every day. You probably should too. So it helps the brain work better. Just by eating a better diet helps the brain work better. If you add turmeric to it, better still. Now, at my house, I have gardens. And years ago, I had some old turmeric that I didn't eat. And I threw it into the garden just as compost. Well, I have turmeric all over my house now. Turmeric plants. They're beautiful. They grow beautiful flowers, big green leaves. They're very healthy. And I have them as a border, actually. There's a stream in my backyard along the stream. I have it in the garden. So it's very pretty. But if you ever need turmeric, just pull some out and use it because it grows like crazy. So if you're a gardener, you could just take some turmeric root and stick it in the ground. And that's it. Then it grows rhizomes and it kind of goes all over the place. But this is really cool because this factor, the BDNF, it's a gene that helps the growth and maturation and maintenance of brain cells. So there's no downside, again, to eating well. So just adding more fruits and vegetables, good for the brain. You throw in a turmeric supplement, even better for the brain. Turmeric's also an anti-inflammatory. There's been studies showing that it might, you can never make promises in this world, help with certain cancers. So there's really no downside to taking a turmeric supplement, which is kind of cool. And I take it every day, relatively inexpensive. It's just part of my regimen across the board. Another health tip or health hack that you need to consider is reducing your salt intake. Sodium is the number one dietary factor for death on the planet. Let me say that again. Sodium, the number one dietary risk factor for death on planet Earth. So if there's one thing that you should take out of your diet, above alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, it'll be salt. Excess sodium, worst thing you're doing. Now, what's interesting is, for younger people, between 20s and 30s, or 20s and 40s, if I remember the study correctly, the number one source of sodium is chicken. Not interesting. You think chips or peanuts? Nope, chicken. So it increases your risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney disease. So here's a simple hack I gave you a while ago, and apparently it was very popular. A lot of people wrote to me and thanked me for it. I like salt. We all like salt, I guess. But if you're going to use salt, air-dried sea salt only. Air-dried sea salt, Celtic salt, pink salt, Himalayan salt. Black salt is actually pink, but not just plain old white table salt. But Himalayan or pink salt is going to be the best. And what you do is you get something called salt substitute. And this is potassium chloride. Now, you can get this in your grocery store. It's nothing fancy. It's relatively inexpensive. And it's salt substitute. It's potassium chloride. Potassium chloride by itself is a bit bitter. I don't like it. So what you can do is you can mix it 50% potassium chloride, 50% air-dried sea salt. And now you're going to lower your sodium intake and increase your potassium intake. Most of us need more potassium. I don't know of any of us that need more sodium unless you have like severe diarrhea or vomiting or you're anorexic or something. So this is a cool little hack. It'll get you more potassium, less sodium, and you won't even know the difference in flavor. Now, if you do know the difference, I've never known anyone to notice it, maybe cut back to 25% potassium chloride, 75% sodium chloride. Find a match that works for you and add a little bit, taste it, add a little bit more. So that's a real neat hack to lower your sodium intake. Again, number one dietary risk factor for death in the world. And all we got to do is stop using it. And if you cut out the bad foods, the alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, a lot of those foods are associated with having a lot of sodium and a lot of salt, processed foods. You look at, I remember being a college student and ramen was a big thing. You'd buy four ramens for $1 and you live on it and it was great. Loaded with salt. Worse than that, loaded with monosodium glutamate. That's sodium, again, monosodium, and glutamate, glutamic acid, is an excitotoxin to the brain. It causes the nerve endings to fire faster than they're supposed to. and can literally burn out your brain cells. So please stay away from monosodium glutamate. It's one of the horrible things that people put in their diet, and it's in so many processed foods. And so when you learn to read labels, and reading label is a lifetime job because there's so many things I don't even know what they are. But if you see monosodium glutamate, don't eat it. It's very simple. Monosodium glutamate has over 40 different names. Autolyzed yeast, hydrolyzed vegetable protein. Even the word natural flavor could be monosodium glutamate. So the less things on the label, the better. You should be able to pronounce everything on there, generally speaking. But anything that looks like monosodium glutamate, anything that's really salty or has a real a savory flavor to it, I want you to stay away from it. It's not something you want to put in your body. It's bad for the brain. It's bad for the heart. Increases your risk of blood pressure, diabetes issues, kidney issues. Not diabetes issue, I'm sorry, heart disease. So just limit your sodium. Real simple hack. Don't use it. If you do use it, mix it with potassium chloride. Nobody argues there, right? Quick, easy, cheap, simple. Now, there's a trend. It's kind of faded out a little bit, but I'm not sure if that viral infection that shut down the world might have done it. But I was seeing this big trend coming up on something called kombucha. Kombucha is fermented tea, and it's sold as a health elixir, and it's really amazing for you. But there's very limited evidence that it raises that it's any good for you, and it raises a potential serious concern. Consumption of this is discouraged, and it might be associated with life-threatening called lactic acidosis, and it can make your body too acidic. Now, if you have one or two, it's probably not that big a deal. But here's the hook with that. It's fermented, and it actually has an alcohol content to it. Now, years ago, kombucha was being sold, and it was a hot item. And if you remember Lindsay Lohan in her day, she got arrested a lot for drunk driving. And one of her arrests, she told the judge she wasn't drinking alcohol, she was drinking kombucha, which has alcohol in it if it's not pasteurized. The judge then looked at this and went, wait a minute, you can't be selling alcohol to minors. They had to pull all the kombucha off the shelves all across the country. This is many years ago. And now they have to ferment it and pasteurize it, to kill off the alcohol. Now, some of them have come back as unpasteurized, and you have to show your ID to show you're 21 to buy it. So I'm not a big fan of this. I knew somebody once, and she used to drink a lot of wine and alcohol. And so she said, I'm going to switch from that to kombucha. And she did. Well, she was still drinking alcohol. It was still an alcoholic drink. So just be careful with that. It's not all it's cracked up to be. If you're going to try to lose weight, and I covered this last week in the show, eat more of your calories earlier in the day. Calories eaten in the morning are less fattening than calories consumed at night. Calories eaten in the morning are less fattening of the exact same food. That's what's interesting. If I eat 100 calories worth of avocado in the morning, it's going to have less an impact on my health than if I eat 100 calories of avocado at night. So this is where you want to do time-restricted eating, or intermittent fasting it's called sometimes, because if you're going to do it, it works real well, but you want to skip dinner, not breakfast. The results that we're seeing the most are when people skip dinner, not so much when they skip breakfast. So if you don't know what intermittent fasting is, I'll catch you up a little bit. You want to give your body a break. You want to give your digestive system a time to relax and heal. So if you're constantly eating, you wake up, have midnight snacks, you're eating late at night, you're eating early in the morning, you're drinking coffee and donuts and alcohol and meat and sugar and all the bad foods, you're constantly just irritating the heck out of your colon. So the minimum I want you to do is I want you to stop eating for 12 hours a day. Dr. Joe, that's a half a day. I can't do that. Yeah, you can. If you have dinner at 6 o'clock at night, don't have breakfast till 6 o'clock in the morning. That's it. That's 12 hours right there. So stop eating at a reasonable time at night and don't eat till a reasonable time in the morning. Give yourself at least 12 hours a day to rest. If you skip dinner, better still. I know Sunday nights I do one of my live radio shows, and I've got to be on the air at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So what I'll do is I'll eat at around 3 or 4 o'clock. I'll do the show, and then I'll intermittent fast, certainly one night a week, sometimes more, just to give my colon a rest. And it's a real simple, easy thing you can do. And what's funny is you appreciate food so much more when it's not always there. It's like anything else in life. You appreciate it when it's not there. So give yourself a little break. But if you're going to do it, don't skip breakfast, skip dinner. What I do for breakfast is I eat light anyway. I have Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source for breakfast first thing in the morning. That's, to me, I guess it's my cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee. So I have Super Greens and Essential Source. I'll usually add my 5 drops of vitamin D. It's on the website, drjoe.com. And I add the vitamin D, especially in the winter, folks. I cannot stress this enough. Vitamin D is the cheapest insurance policy you'll ever buy. So vitamin D, make sure it has vitamin K2 with it, because vitamin D3, one of the things it does is helps you absorb calcium. The vitamin K2 drives the calcium into the bones. If you just take D3 without K2, you can have an excess buildup of calcium. Now, there's difference between vitamin K1 and vitamin K2. So if the doctor says you're on blood thinners, don't take vitamin K, most doctors don't know there's a difference between K1 and K2. K1 can cause your blood to clot. K2 acts differently. It's not an issue of blood clotting so much. So just be careful with that. Doctors don't understand that now. You do. So I have Super Greens and Essential Source first thing in the morning. Then I have some fruit. This morning I had some papaya. And then I'll go about my day, getting ready, take a shower, get dressed, and everything like that. Sometimes I'm hungry, sometimes I'm not. If I'm hungry, I'll have a little snack as well. Real simple thing you can do is make yourself some muesli. Now, if you know what muesli is, first time I was introduced to it, I was bicycling around the United Kingdom right after I graduated college. That was my present to myself. And me and this guy, Peter, don't even remember his last name, we went on a bicycle tour around the UK. And I was introduced to it. And it's interesting, it's very popular in Europe. It's a cold cereal, and it's made with oats, so just old-fashioned oats, and then some dried fruits, some nuts. There's no recipe necessary. Kind of throw in whatever you got. Coconut works well in there. I put cinnamon in mine. And so I have a bag of that, and I make it myself. Because I was looking at it the other day in a store, and it had, a fancy muesli bag there. $9 a bag. I thought, are you kidding me? So just get organic rolled oats, some organic coconuts, some organic nuts, some organic dried fruit if you want to. I use raisins. And I can either dry, or you can just put some almond milk, some plant milk on it, and have that as a snack. Very filling, very good for you, great for your fiber. So it might be something you might want to consider doing as well, is just have some muesli there. And then for a snack, right around 10 o'clock or so, I usually have maybe a handful of nuts. Sometimes if I'm ambitious, which I usually am, I'll make soups. I have, Instant Pot, and I'll make lentil soup, split pea soup, veggie soups, things like this. I'll have that as a snack, and then lunch is usually like a salad. Now, sometimes I have lunch plans, rarely, but like tomorrow, I have lunch plans, and I'm going to meet somebody at a restaurant. So that kind of is a little break in my routine, but that's okay. I get a little crazy sometimes to go out. Ooh, I'll eat, of course, vegan food. Nothing to worry about there. Big issue here. A lot of people are anemic, especially women of childbearing years. But you got to be careful about tea and coffee. If you drink tea and coffee 30 minutes before or a half hour after eating, it can block your absorption of iron. And if you're anemic, this is a big issue. Now, again, I wish other doctors would tell you this. But if you're concerned about iron absorption, any kind of tea, green tea, black tea. Now, herbal teas don't count. Like if you're going to do a slippery elm, which I have here at the studio with me, and that coats my throat. So slippery elm tea, peppermint tea, things like that. But anything that comes from the black tea family, tea leaves, traditional tea leaves, white tea, green tea, black tea. And coffee does it too. Though tea is actually worse than coffee when it comes to preventing proper absorption of iron. So just be careful about that. Again, 30 minutes before or an hour after is okay, but not during. The longer you wait, the better you're going to be. It can take hours for your stomach to empty, so you really don't want the tea in your stomach at the same time the food is. So if I were to eat cantaloupe, that's a quickie. 20 minutes, it's probably out of my stomach into my small intestine. Even my papaya I had this morning for breakfast. Fruits like that, pretty quick out of the stomach, maybe half hour. If I were to eat bacon and eggs, which I wouldn't, but if I were to eat bacon and eggs, that could take 5 hours to get out of my stomach. So if you're trying to absorb the iron from your bacon and eggs, you're not going to do a good job if you're drinking tea and coffee with it. So, again, just another fun fact. And what we're talking about today are life hacks. Things that you can do every single day, simple little tweaks that you can throw into your life to make your body and your life a whole lot better and a whole lot healthier. And everything we're teaching you here so far is free. I I mean, a turmeric if you're going to buy turmeric. But everything else we talk about is free. So that's what's nice about it. Now, we talked about supplements. Super Green's an essential source, of course, aren't free. But these are things you can do, not necessarily things you have to buy. And that's why I try to teach you. How do you maintain this body of yours? I had a patient come in last week, my age, and I looked at her and I thought, wow, she looks like somebody's grandmother. And she was somebody's grandmother. And I looked at her birthday and I looked at my birthday. We were really close. I think I was a month older than her. And I thought, wow, time has not been her friend. So she didn't take care of herself when she was younger, and now she looks like somebody's grandmother. And I told her, and she says, oh my gosh, I thought you were about 15 years, most people say 15 years younger than what I look like. So it's not that I have amazing genetics, it's that I just take care of myself. So you can see it on the outside, but you'll also see it on the inside. And one of the things we look at as chiropractors and pain management doctors is the spine. If you have a bone out of place, no matter how old you are, the bones are rubbing up against each other and the joint is wearing out. We call that arthritis, osteoarthritis. And so if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, it's a good idea to come see us immediately. Because if you have pain, the chances are, I'm going to say, I can't say 100%, but very high, that there's a bone out of place rubbing up against the other bones, causing the joints to wear out. So we can age the body on the inside as well. And that's mechanical. And that's the easiest one to fix. So if you have pain, come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Normally, the first visit, $712. For my listeners, we've reduced that to $299. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. The x-rays alone are going to cost you more than $299 anywhere else. So if you're serious about wanting to get well and you're ready to embark on this mission of getting well, go to our website right now, drjoe.com, make an appointment. Stop suffering needlessly. Every day people say to me, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I start this journey of getting well sooner? I don't know. For back pain, chiropractic is the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. Why wouldn't you do it? Makes no sense to do anything else but that. Now, we can't help everybody, but it's certainly a good starting point. So, drjoe.com. All the supplements we talk about are also available on the website, drjoe.com. If you have questions, send them to me through the website. I'm happy to answer them for you. There's a little bot that pops up, and it says, hey, I'd like to chat. Yes, you would. Send us a question. I'll answer it for you as quickly as we can. drjoe.com. If you're ever in a car accident, folks, please listen to this. If you're ever in a car accident, if the car's damaged, you're damaged. I've never seen it any other way, even if you don't have pain. Pain can take up to 6 months to show up in a car accident. So you want to come see us right away because the insurance companies will use that against you. Say, well, you weren't hurt. You didn't go to the doctor right away. Well, 3 days later, no, you didn't go right away. Now, some of them are jerks, some aren't. Depends on the insurance company. Maybe you didn't have a car because your car was smacked up. They don't care. They do everything they can to try to throw barriers up to not pay you. Now, I understand there's a lot of scammers out there, and as an insurance company, they assume everybody's scamming, I think. But if you ever get a phone call from a car accident and somebody says, hey, go see this doctor, go see this lawyer, that's a scam. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. But we'd love to see you as patients in the Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb, drjoe.com. Make sure you follow us on social media, at Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We post every day. Not YouTube, we post every week. But please follow us. The more you follow, the more ranking we get, and the more people are going to get this message. So if you like what you're hearing, drjoe.com, at Dr. Joe Esposito, social media. And if you're a podcast junkie, you're type in Dr. Joe for the health of it, DRJOE, Dr. Joe for the health of it. Tens of thousands of you have gone to your podcast service and listened to our podcasts. We really appreciate that. drjoe.com if you have any questions. Other tips, hacks, life hacks to keep yourself healthy. You shouldn't eat bread. Everybody asks me, Dr. Joe, I love bread. What's the best bread? I love bread. There is no good bread. But if you're going to eat bread, the best, healthiest type of bread would be pumpernickel because it actually has whole, intact rye berries, rye groats. It's all in there. So ideally, that's how you should eat your groats in the whole intact, your oats and your grains in a whole intact form. Now, rye still has something in it called gluten. Now, gluten is a protein that when it gets in your colon can cause an inflammatory reaction. So I always tell people if you have to give up things, artificial sweeteners the number one, and then dairy and wheat to take the stress off the immune system. So rye bread still has gluten in it. I don't recommend it, but at least we're trying to get in the right direction here. Most of the breads out there are just like eating sugar, and I don't want you doing that. Another life hack. Get up and move. When I do my shows, when I do my podcast, I have to sit down because of the cameras, but I always do them standing up. Always stay in motion. Do everything you can to stay in motion. Even if you're sitting at a desk, at least bounce your legs up and down. Anything to keep the body in motion, because the body is designed to stay functioning and not sit down. And the best thing you can do, and I do this every day, is a cross crawl. Simple little exercise. You take your right elbow and bring it to your left knee. Lift up your left knee, bring your right elbow. Then left elbow to right knee. So you're marching in place, touching your elbow to your opposite knee. This works great because it integrates the brain. The brain is designed to integrate, use all parts of the brain. If you don't use both parts of the brain, you're segregating the brain. Using just one side, it doesn't work as well. And most of us use one side of the brain all day. So cross crawl, just Google it if you want to. Cross crawl is a great exercise to do every single day. If you can do it 30 seconds an hour, you'll be amazed. You probably won't even have to go to the gym anymore. That's how amazing the cross crawl is. Folks, got to go to a break. If you have any questions, drjoe.com. We'd love to be your doctors. Make an appointment. Send us questions. Supplements are on the website. Anything we can do to get you well and keep you well. drjoe.com. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back. Bam. Part 1. Preguntas?
We have a question.
A, okay.
Somebody wants to know which of these things they should drink first on an empty stomach every morning. Apple cider vinegar, celery juice, or super greens and essential source.
None of them have to be on an empty stomach. So apple cider vinegar might be a little harsh on an empty stomach. Celery juice is great, but there's no reason to have it on an empty stomach, and neither do you need the super greens or the essential source. You can do that with food. So the answer is none of them. You can drink all of them if you'd like and don't have to worry about that. Empty stomach, if you're going to do probiotics, if you want to get the best bang for your buck, you can take probiotics on an empty stomach, wait 20 minutes, and then eat. Because the stomach acid, as it goes up, could kill off the probiotics. But if you're eating a plant-based diet, your stomach acid doesn't go that high, so it's less dramatic if you taking probiotics than if you're eating meats and dairy products. What else?
Well, that's it for now.
All right, let's go into part 2. And folks, if you're tuning in, please, if you have any questions, please send them in because at another 24 minutes, I'll be happy to answer any questions you have, and it's a great opportunity for you to tap in and get your questions answered. So, all right, ready for part 2, Joe? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Thanks for staying with us or joining us. I appreciate that. What we're talking about today are life hacks, things that you can do every single day to make yourself a better person, to increase your health, increase your energy, increase your brain function, increase your wealth. Because healthier people, you're more likely to be able to work harder or work smarter and make more money. So there's no downside to doing any of these. And all the ones we just talked about, all of them are essentially free except the supplements we talked about. So why not do these things? Now, another thing, I get this question a lot. I get a lot of questions a lot. Every day I get a lot of questions, but I don't mind. I like answering them. Should I eat organic foods? Is there really a difference? Well, you might be surprised to learn hundreds of studies found that organic foods don't have significantly more vitamins and minerals, certain vitamins and minerals, than non-organic. Some of them are much higher, but some aren't. They do, however, to have something what we call non-traditional nutrients, things like polyphenol antioxidants. That sounds like a big word. But vitamins and minerals, the way you classify a vitamin is if you don't have this vitamin, you'll get a certain disease. And of course, the classic example is vitamin C. If you don't have vitamin C, you'll get scurvy. And so they found this out when sailors would sail across the ocean. They didn't have fresh fruits and vegetables. They didn't get vitamin C. They developed scurvy. There's an insult that they would call British sailors limeys because they would carry limes with them. This is the story that I heard. And the limes would give them the vitamin C. But we realized that if you don't have certain B vitamins, you might get a disease. If you don't have certain, C, D, whatever, you get a disease. So there are non-traditional supplements, like we said, called antioxidants, polyphenols, and they are much higher in organic plants than in non-organic plants because the non-organic plants, the conventional ones they call it, many times they use high-dose synthetic fertilizers that can divert more resources to growth rather than to nutrition. So when they're growing, whatever, watermelon, whatever it is, they want to get the biggest watermelon they can because they sell it by the pound. Well, it isn't always the freshest or the sweetest or certainly not the most nutritious. So these polyphenols, these antioxidants, let's say with berries, for example, appear to suppress cancer growth better than conventional berries would. So it's a good idea to do organic whenever possible. Now, based on these elevated antioxidant levels, organic produce may be considered 20 to 40% healthier, the equivalent of adding 1 to 2 servings of food every day. So if you're an average person and you're eating non-organic fruits and vegetables, you switch to organic, you're getting about 2 to 4 more servings a day, which is great. Now, when I created Dr. Joe's Essential Source, which is it's like the minimum supplement everybody should be taking, one of the things I added was dried fruits and vegetables. Now, I can't say how many servings per se are in there because it can vary, and I can't say exactly, but I feel, my opinion, you're getting about 3 or 4 servings of raw fruits and vegetables when you take 1 serving of Dr. Joe's Essential Source. My opinion, I've never had this scientifically checked. What we do is we juice the fruits and the vegetables, take the water out at a very low temperature so none of the enzymes are destroyed, and what's left is a powder. That's part of the Essential Source. It's prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, complete multivitamin, and the raw fruits and vegetables. So there's so many benefits to taking Super Greens and Essential Source. If you were going to buy, let's say, 3 servings of raw fruits and vegetables, there's an expense there. There's a waste there. You're going to have to carry it home. It might go bad, like most people do. You buy it, you don't eat it. This transports. It doesn't go bad. So another reason why everyone I feel should be taking Super Greens and Essential Source. Now, they're on the website, drjoe.com, under store. You go to store and look at them. I don't know why everybody doesn't take them. It just blows my mind. And I have people say, well, Dr. Joe, I bought it, but I forgot to take it. It doesn't work if it's in the container. You got to put it in your mouth. So you really want to take as much fruits and vegetables. Of course, don't stuff yourself. So Essential Source is just another great way to add that to it. Now, conventional produce also can have twice the levels of cadmium, 1 to 3 toxic heavy metals in the food supply, and you don't want cadmium in the body. It's dangerous, with mercury and lead. So mercury, lead, and cadmium are 3 heavy metals. Now, if you think you've been exposed to these heavy metals, we can do something called a hair analysis. We do it at our offices. And with a hair analysis, we just take a little sample of hair from anywhere in the body to underneath on you're not going to cut it out of the center of your scalp. And we send it off for analysis, and we can measure the level of heavy metals in your body. And if the heavy metals are there, it's really important that we find out why they're there, what are you exposing yourself to, and then what do we need to do to detoxify them. Because heavy metals, there's zero benefit to your body with heavy metals. So if you're buying conventional produce sprayed with pesticides, residues have reportedly been detected in 11% of even organic soil samples. So even though you're doing organic, there might be a little bit of pesticide in there, but it's still worth the benefit. Now, what about meats, dairy products, eggs, things like that? USDA organic standards don't allow animals to be fed or injected with antibiotics or steroids. All foods of animal origin, organic or not, naturally contain sex steroid hormones, such as estrogen or testosterone. But the hormones naturally occur even in organic cow's milk are not good for humans. This is one of the many, many reasons I don't eat animal products. So even if it's organic, you're still going to have the hormones that naturally occur in the cow or the chicken or the pig or whatever it is. I don't think they do organic pork. I've never seen that. But these hormones can cause adverse health effects in the body. So one of the many, many reasons I don't do it is because I don't want the hormones in the body. Now, in a comparison between meat from animals raised conventionally versus organically, all conventional chicken samples were contaminated with drug-resistant bacteria. But the majority of organic samples of chicken were not. So if you're going to eat animal products, meat, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream, I recommend organic only. Now, I prefer you don't eat them. But if you do eat them, make sure they're organic. It's not worth the risk, folks. And you say, well, organic meat is more expensive. Well, then don't eat it. It's so easy to save so much money, especially now with food prices going through the ceiling. So much easier, cheaper to just eat more plants and healthier than to stay away from the expensive foods like the meats, the dairies, the coffee, the soda, the artificial sweeteners. I mean, I'm blown away when people go into coffee shops and spend $7 for a cup of coffee. Now, I understand it's fancy, and I've tried some of them, and they're tasty. I'm not going to lie. But why would you want to spend $7 for something that's not good for you? You could buy a lot of organic peaches for $7. So what we're talking about today are life hacks, things that you can incorporate into your life every single day to keep yourself healthy. Now, if you want to obtain and maintain good health, you have to have three things. You have to have a normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, good nutrition. Now, that's generally speaking. Well, what about this? That's the general rules, okay? So diet is the easiest thing that you have control over. You decide what's on the end of your fork. And you can't outrun your fork, which means you can't eat a bad diet and just work out and solve that. You can't out-supplement the bad diet. You have to make better decisions if your goal is to get well and stay well. If your goal is not to get well and stay well, this probably isn't a show you should be listening to. But I can't imagine anyone who wouldn't want that in their lives, who wouldn't want to get healthier, to lose weight, have more energy, to function better romantically, brain-wise, at work, at school, at church, as a family member. There's no downside to being healthy except one. And that downside is the bad food tastes good. And there's a whole field called food science, and they work diligently to try to get you to eat more of their food. So we know from food science that the perfect combination, the perfect storm of getting someone to eat a lot of food is carbohydrates, fat, and salt. If you can have carbohydrates, fat, and salt mixed together, awesome. Then if you add monosodium glutamate to that combination, that also excites your taste buds. It's called an umami flavor. Umami means rich and savory, and it's an excitotoxin to the brain. So if you can have carbohydrates, fat, salt, and monosodium glutamate in one food, people are going to eat a lot of it. Not that it's good for them. In fact, it's really bad for them, but it tastes good. So where might you find that combination? How about potato chips? How about most chips? Chips are great. Aren't they great? I love chips. Everyone loves chips because they satisfy the brain. The brain releases endorphins when this food combination is put in there, and you want to eat more. So my rule is this. Another life hack. My rule for life hack is this. Get the bad food out of the house. If you have bad food in the house, chances are you're going to eat it. If you have good food in the house, you may say, wow, I really don't feel like eating, carrots today when I could have potato chips with monosodium glutamate, but the only thing I have in the house is carrots, so I'm going to eat it. So consider playing these mind games with yourself. If the bad food is there, chances are you're going to eat it. So get the bad food out of the house. So we said the three things you have to have: normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, good nutrition. Nutrition is the easiest one because you have control of it. It's the hardest one because the temptation is everywhere. So if you don't know what to eat, I'll go to our website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, and just type in the search bar, so what can I eat? And I have a talk that I did. I was in a studio by myself for about an hour, and we just talked about breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, and really good information. Now, if you go to our website, we have about 3,000 hours of podcasts and information. The cost for that is free. We give you that. Now, we are putting together a masterclass, and the reason is that so many people from around the world listen to these shows, and they want to come see us, but they can't. So we're putting together a masterclass. It's going to be 8 weeks, and it's going to be me and a very elite small group of people, and we're going to charge for this. And I'm going to be your coach, personally, for 8 weeks. And we're going to work on things that we can do together to try to get you well and keep you well, even if you're not in the Atlanta area, which is where I'm based. So we'd love that opportunity. So if you do that, just send us an email through the website, drjoe.com. There's a little bot that pops up. Just say masterclass in it, and I'll have somebody contact you about that. But we're really keeping it to an elite group, so we're not going to let a whole lot of people in. It's going to be really intense one-on-one training. But I digress. we talked a little bit about fast foods and how tempting they are. Oh, let me go back a little bit. I regress now. Digress? Yeah, I regress. Diet is easy. It's on the website, what to eat, what not to eat. As far as your digestive system goes, this is a big life hack because almost everybody has some digestive problems. Heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation. We get it, but we don't talk about it. It's not conversation. And so when I'm one-on-one with a patient, and we'll talk about this closely in the masterclass, when I'm one-on-one with the patient, patients will say, well, Dr. Joe, I didn't want to mention this, but I have digestive issues. I have sexual dysfunction. When I cough or sneeze, I pee myself. I have anal leakage. These are not things people talk about usually, but all of these things are a sign. And when I say this, I'll say this sort of tongue-in-cheek. It's a good thing. It's telling us what direction we need to look at for your specific health problems. We don't want to just say, oh, you got that? Yeah, what are you going to do? No, this is telling us this means this isn't working. This means that isn't working. This means you're doing too much of this or not enough of that. And we can put together a protocol specifically for you based on those symptoms, which is pretty exciting. We always want to get to the cause of your healthcare problem, not just treat the symptoms. So with digestion, could be food, could be allergic reactions. We can do food analysis. We can do allergy tests in our office to see if you're having food reactions. The easiest thing to do is give up wheat and dairy products. Those are the two foods you really want to give up right away because they wreak the most havoc on your digestive system. But giving up wheat and dairy is going to be great. But sometimes the problem is physical. When I say physical, it could be your stomach is pushed up against your diaphragm. It could be the valve between your small and large intestine called the ileocecal valve is spasmed. And if it's spasmed closed, you have constipation. If it's spasmed open, you have diarrhea. So many times we can physically go in there and massage the stomach, pull it down away from the diaphragm, get into the ileocecal valve and just massage it so it comes out of spasm, and knowing what to do. It's not just rub it and it's going to fix it. You have to know the right angle, the right vectors to use. You have to really understand anatomy to do this. The number 2 reason that we see patients in our offices is digestive problems. The number 1 reason is pain. Number 2 is digestion. So with digestive issues, many times it's not something you can fix on your own. Nutrition, I'll teach you. That you got to feed yourself. But if you have these problems, it might be something you have to come see us for. And if you have pain, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, radiating pain, numbness, tingling, sciatica, that's another thing you probably want to come see us for. Because if we can get the digestive system working the best it can, if we can get the nervous system working the best it can, unpinch all those nerves that are being pinched, and then you handle the dietary protocol, wow, you've got a plan to get well and stay well. Most people have insurance, but they don't have a plan. They say, it's my insurance plan. No, it's your insurance policy. Your health plan is what you and I do when we put that together for you. So if you have neck pain, back pain, digestive issues, come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love to be your doctors. Stop suffering needlessly. I've been using that phrase for almost 40 years now, and it still holds true. Most of the problems you're having right now, you're suffering needlessly for. Not all. We can't fix everything. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. You can book it right online or call us. Normally, the first visit is $712. We've reduced that to $299 for my listeners. Exam, x-rays, consultation, first adjustment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. The x-rays alone usually cost more than everything we're giving you. So drjoe.com, we accept people with all insurances. It depends what your coverage is. So Dr. Joe, you said you accept our insurance. Yeah, well, your insurance doesn't have any coverage. There's a lot of crappy insurance policies out there. So anyway, come see us. If it's cash plan, we have payment plans available through Care Credit. It's another company we use. But we're happy to work with you in any way we possibly can to try to get you well and keep you well. And if you're ever in a car accident, folks, if the car's damaged, you're damaged. I've never seen it any other way. So if your car is damaged, you definitely want to come see us immediately. Even if you caused the accident, we still got to fix you. drjoe.com. Follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito. We post every single day on social media. You want to make sure you follow us for health tips. We have giveaways. We give away concert tickets, live lectures. We'll be giving away that as well. When I do live lectures, we do that. So if you're a podcast junkie, we have tens of thousands of you who just go to your podcast service every month. Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it on your podcast service. and you can get a lot of information there. But any questions, just send it to me, drjoe, drjoe.com. It pops up on the website. We'd love to chat with you. Now, I kind of started talking about fast foods, and this is interesting. And I wish this was covered more, especially those 2 years where that little virus was going around, that annoying little virus that caused the little problems there. What happens is your body reacts as if fast food was a bacterial infection. 2018, University of Bonn, they ran a not somewhat iconic study, now iconic, it wasn't iconic at the time, on fast foods and the immune system. They placed a group of mice on what they determined to be the Western diet of high fat, high sugar, low fiber, essentially a model of fast food, quote, nutrition, okay, what they would consider what the average American eats. I call it the SAD diet, Standard American Diet, SAD. After 1 month, they found the animals who were eating the Standard American Diet. Their immune systems were having an interesting reaction. They developed a strong inflammatory response throughout the whole body. So their whole body became inflamed. The study compared the response to the way your immune system would react after being infected with a dangerous bacteria. I knew this gal once, and if she hugged somebody, she would say they feel poofy. That was her diagnosis. They were poofy. And it was all the inflammation in their body. It was never somebody who ate right. Now, even if you didn't have musculature, if you ate right, you didn't have that inflammation, that poofiness to the body. And so this study out of Bonn is exactly what she was talking about. So over time, fast food makes your immune system more aggressive. So you expose yourself to unhealthy diet, the more the immune system gets aggressive and starts attacking these foreign invaders. It sounds like it might be a good thing, but you wouldn't want that happening all the time, because essentially what happens is you burn out your immune system. Your immune system is always on high alert. And just like you, if you're always on high alert, eventually you're going to start to burn out. So you want to give the immune system a rest. And if you're eating fast food, it doesn't get that rest that it needs. Now, the immune system doesn't regulate when the fast food intake stops. That's the problem. You get the immune system so excited, hyped up, and wired that once your immune system develops this response to fast food, it takes a long time to calm it down again. It's only recently been discovered that the innate immune system has this form of memory, that it's under attack, and even when it stops being attacked, the immune system is still on high alert. What's going on? When's the next attack coming? So what it is, the body's defenses kind of remain in this alarm state so that they can respond quickly to another attack. Not good. It burns out your system. So again, I talk about diet all the time, and once you learn these tricks, once you learn these hacks to get your body healthy, it's so easy, and you'll never go back. You'll eat well. This is what usually happens. You eat well, and then you cheat. It's a wedding, it's a Christmas, it's whatever. So you eat bad, and you feel like junk. It's a different word I could use. You feel like junk, and you say, oh, why am I so sick? Well, this immune system response kicks in, and you realize it's not a good thing. So then you start eating right again, getting your chiropractic care, getting your stomach and digestive system worked on, and then you cheat again. And it usually takes about 4 or 5 times of you doing this and realizing, wow, I didn't realize how good I felt until I felt bad, or vice versa. I didn't realize how bad I felt until I felt good. And then you say, the words that I love when you finally have this revelation, this moment in time, you say, that's not worth it. It's not worth it. Last time I had a drink, I was 28 years old. I was in a place called Anguilla, which is an island in northernmost Lesser Antilles, I think it is. Beautiful island. I was on vacation. And they sent a bottle of champagne to the room I was staying in. And I had a glass of champagne. I felt awful. I didn't feel good. It was in the afternoon. And so that evening, I didn't feel good. I didn't sleep good that night. And I realized, why am I doing this? For that one moment of pleasure, it wasn't even pleasurable, why would I want to ruin my health or ruin my vacation or ruin my life for that little moment of pleasure? And that was the last time I had any alcohol. That was it. Now, I was never a big drinker. I never liked drinking anyway. But that aha moment hit me. And so what I want you to do when you listen to my shows and my podcasts and my lectures and this masterclass, if you want to join the masterclass, I want you to have that aha moment. I want you to say, oh my gosh, it all makes sense now. And I love it when I'm going over x-rays with a patient or going over the nutrition, and they go, Dr. Joe, that explains everything. Now I understand why I have neck pain, back pain, digestive issues, acid reflux, burning. I lost my singing voice because acid was coming up from my stomach into my throat. I finally got it. Show me x-rays. Oh my gosh, no wonder my back hurts. Look at that x-ray. It's horrible. So I want you to have these aha moments. Now, you can have little ones, you can have big ones. I don't care. But I want you to have these aha moments so that you get to the point where you say, this finally makes sense. Cut out the fast food. See what happens. Gosh, Doc, I'm sleeping better. My love life improved. My breath freshened. Go to the bathroom better. Have more energy. I'm enjoying my family better. Is that burger worth it? To me, it's not. But you have to make that decision. When you have pain, biggest complaint I get, patients come in, Dr. Joe, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I wait so long? They have that aha moment. Why did I wait so long to come see you guys? Why did I suffer for so many years? And all it was a bone out of place. All it was a stomach up against a diaphragm. All it was is I had to start taking supplements and changing my diet. Yes. In most cases, yes. And so if you're serious about wanting to save money, it's about wanting to add quality years to your life, if you want to spend more time with your family, your friends, your loved ones, take care of other people, if you want to make more money, there's no downside to getting healthy. Normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, good nutrition. We would love the opportunity to be your doctor. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, you can book it right online. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb in the Atlanta area. If you're serious, book it right away. We accept people with all insurances, no insurances, cash payments. We work with you the best we can. And if you're ever in a car accident, if the car's damaged, you're damaged. I've never seen it any other way. Come see us, drjoe.com. Follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito, and in your podcast service, Dr. Joe for the health of it. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Catch you next time. Okay. Any questions for round you?
There are.
Okay.
And there's also good news. There's organic bacon. So
there's organic bacon?
There is organic
I did not know that. See, I don't buy bacon. I didn't know they made organic pork. So.
And to go along with that, what's the best high blood pressure food?
The best high blood pressure food would be nitric oxide. It's a supplement. It's on our website, drjoe.com. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels. And as the blood vessel gets bigger, it helps lower the blood pressure. So it's a supplement, not a food. The number one food to cut out for high blood pressure is sodium. The number one supplement to take would be nitric oxide, and that's on the website, drjoe.com. And if you go to our website, type in blood pressure in the search bar. We did a really good show on blood pressure.
So no bacon.
No bacon, yeah.
All right, unrelated.
Okay.
Well, maybe. Mm-hmm. Is chiropractic, could that be used to increase low heart rate?
Yes. Depends what's causing a low heart rate, of course. It could be an effect of the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a big nerve, runs down the left side of your body, and it controls the digestive system, but also has control over the heart. So if the vagus nerve isn't working properly, it could be a digestive issue affecting the vagus nerve, which can affect low heart rate. It could be a pinched nerve in the neck. The atlas can pinch the vagus nerve as well. And then it could be a dietary issue. And there's two types of nerves in the body. Sympathetic speed you up, parasympathetic slow you down. And so it could be an imbalance between the sympathetics and the parasympathetics. And we have supplements that can help balance that out in some cases. Not all, but some. So you might want to come see us for that one. What else?
That's it. And it looks like the video froze up too, so that's probably good.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right, folks. We'll see you Sunday night, 7 to 9 on WSBRadio.com, 750 AM, 95 FM in Atlanta. Or, of course, your favorite spot, drjoe.com. Tell your friends about the show. Catch you next time.